shoot at Gilding. And because the bronze Adonis is a seed here, this will be his first game. They're looking to join Mensur Suljovic and Vincent van der Voort in the third round tomorrow. And the winner of this one faces either Michael Smith, the standout performer from the first round, or Peter Wright, the World Championship finalist. Those two are actually going to be the final game we see on the way this evening.
Yes, and how well did young Smithy play? A brilliant performance.
Yeah, he was telling me earlier, practice was going dreadfully for him. He wasn't hitting anything, and then it just got on stage, hit a 180 in his first visit, and it just kept on going from there.
That happens so many times, Dan. You know, you talk to people and they said the practice was going so well, I couldn't miss. I had half a dozen 9 darters. I got on stage and couldn't hit a thing. And it does the reverse, as you said, with Smithy. And it's no good trying to keep work it out. It just happens, and you have to get over it.
25.
So these two just seeing if they can gain the upper hand, and Steve Beaton does.
First leg, Steve will first.
So it's the number 9 seed.
I have to laugh there. There was Steve went to shake, and Andrew was going to give it the fist pump. So Steve changed to the fist pump, and Andrew changed to the handshake, and they did that a couple of times. So now all the formalities are done. And Steve punched him somewhere, and Andrew's recovered now.
Beaton right in that little red bit. And fills it up, a 180 on his second visit, and Steve Beaton's off and running.
Yes, the throw of Steve Beaton hasn't changed from when he first come in to the game, the late 80s or early 90s.
83.
Just gets up, plays his own game, never has got into any of the gamesmanship or anything.
58.
Yeah, that win that he had at the German Darts Masters last year, his first title in 4 years. He's always told me throughout that time and since that he feels he's got another major in him. If you don't, why bother turning up and playing?
Well, there's always that to it, Dan. Yeah, you've always got to have confidence, but the way the amount of prize money that's in the game now, you know, you don't have to win a tournament and you can earn a great living. Let's be honest about it. Over £7 million in prize money. And now, you know, there's more coming in World Championships this year, and there'll be more funding for next year. And so, you know, you can earn a good living and have a nice life. Just throwing lumps of metal at a wall.
Not bad, is it? Not bad as Andrew Gilding fills it up. And 180s for both men in the opening leg. And that puts pressure on this, and he can still do it. He needs treble 17 for bullseye. It's not going to happen. So Andrew Gilding, this would be for a break of throw. It can still be done. Not now, it can't.
26.
Oh, bag of nails from Andrew Gilding there. So Steve Beaton may only get 1 dot. He's going to get 2. Double 80 once. No real help for him, that one.
Long way off, weren't they? Edgy darts from Steve Beaton. 2 missed. And Andrew made a bit of a pig's ear of the previous visit. Can he make up for it? Big 15. Dead centre. Can it be dead centre on the double top? Maybe a little bit wayward to be a good guide, but it doesn't matter. The third dart goes in and breaks the throw of Steve Beaton in the very first leg.
Well, you start off ton 80 on your own throw in the first leg and you end up losing it. He could be kicking himself a little bit there, Steve Beaton. Just got to put it to the back of his mind and get on with the job.
60.
Same with Mike in commentary in the first game this afternoon. When Justin Pipe was knocked out by Vincent van der Voort. Vincent has been on that stage already this weekend. He's acclimatised to it. It does give you a little bit of an advantage. You obviously run the gauntlet of having to get through your first game, but if you do, it can give you a little bit of advantage against a guy who's going up there cold.
140.
Yeah, you're right.
140.
Everyone says that getting over the first round of any tournament is the toughest one. It's the edgy one. You don't know how you're playing, and like you say, they've got used to that stage. I was going to say they got used to the crowd, but we didn't have a great deal of crowd in yesterday. But certainly today, they've come in. Good support for all the players. It is great to see. It doesn't matter where we go in the world. I mean, we're off to
92.
Singapore, you know, and then Perth, and then Sydney. And there'll be great crowds anywhere in the world. It just shows you the reach that this game has got now, and the following it's got.
Yeah, it's a game that's going places. With that comes the rewards, the money, the adulation.
And the commitment. You know, you've got to be committed to the sport. You've got to be committed to the cause as well. You know, everyone leaves the legacy for the next generation of dart players, and all these players have got to, you know, show a bit of respect for, well, the companies that put you where you are, I suppose.
Andrew Gilding looking at a ton plus checkout here. Wow, he's going to get a shot. Oh, I couldn't tell from the kangaroo angle for a moment there. But Steve Beaton has an opportunity here.
Yeah, I was thinking that Andrew miscounted there.
Steve
Steve Beaton certainly did.
Game on.
Yeah, he wanted 123, didn't he? The 57 left him 66.
Should have gone for treble 16 rather than 17.
Yeah, or even 66 treble 10, or even the bullseye, but he went for the 51, so he miscounted a lot there.
He talks about the dedication. If you're going to be a darts player, Michael van Gerwen tried his best to see off this ankle problem that he's got. He is not here this weekend. We have got a little video message from Michael. We'll be broadcasting that after the fourth game. So this is the third one this afternoon. We've got Andy Hamilton and Ronnie Baxter on the way after this. Once that game's concluded, you'll be able to hear from the world number one and world champion himself. I've not seen it, so I doubt he's doing a dance routine. Put it that way. But you never know, he can surprise you, can Mighty Mike.
But we, you know, I've only just spoke about the dedication and the respect for the game. You know, he can't make it, and I can assure you, it has to be bad for Michael not to get here and play darts. But he's just going to tell the public, you know, sorry I'm not there, blah blah blah, and that explains it all. It is that little bit of, yes, I owe the sport something, so you know it's right to apologise, and yes, doing it right.
Yeah, everywhere you go nowadays, you see a lot of the lime green Michael van Gerwen shirts. Perhaps not as many as you usually see here, but they're all big Mensur Suljovic fans, it would appear. Absolutely bonkers during his game against Ian White. Here comes Andrew Gilding. Lovely stuff. 174 sets it up perfectly for a potential 13 darter, and it could be a third breaker throw.
33. Andrew, you require 32.
Yes, Steve has got to start getting it going, because you don't want to let this guy in front of you. We watch him week in, week out on the Pro Tours, and he is not a player that people love to play against. And he takes out the double eight, 2 legs to 1, Andrew Gilding, and now he'll be looking to hold on to his throat strongly for a 3-1 lead and really put the pressure on Steve Beaton. And as you said, Dan, earlier on, you know, Andrew Gilding has already played a game on this stage. He knows what it's like. Beaton's coming up cold.
85.
And that could play a major part in this game now.
Yeah, and this is in the very bottom quarter of the draw, so that's the bit where MVG has vacated. So all of these guys, they'll have that in the back of their minds. They'll be thinking that's a world number one and world champion that I don't have to play if I'm going to progress.
You're exactly right. There'll probably be a few people saying, someone go up and kick Phil Taylor and all, we'll have a right jolly up in this in this tournament, you know.
Well, Dean Winstanley's got a lot of time on his hands today.
137.
Well, once again, we see the person throwing first coming under severe pressure on their own throw.
good last dart from Gilding though. Just edges him in front. Steve needs a 140 to get control. May get 9 darts from 264. There, that's good darts. Yeah, he'll get probably 9 darts from the 264. It just means Gilding's got to go out in 6 from this 221.
Yeah, Beaton could be coming back and getting a shot at the bullseye here.
140. Steve require 124.
See where this first dart goes. It's right there. Does he like the lie? Does he stay there? No, he doesn't. He comes across, so it is a shot at the bullseye.
99. Andrew, you require 81.
Not a gimme, but these are the kind of shots that win you games.
Well, we've seen a lot of players will go for the 25 with the first dart to guarantee himself a dart. Well, he's going to get a dart at double 13 and not the bullseye just on the outside. So Steve Beaton comes back now. He hits the 9. He missed the double 8 with 2 darts in the very first leg of the match.
It's a better guide.
Done exactly the same. Exactly the same. First dart was not a bad guide. The second dart was a good inch and a half inside of the double.
So double 30. Well, he's gone next door. 12 off, down for double 7. Might be able to use that. Doesn't do so. Frustration from Andrew Gilding. Steve Beaton comes back and takes it out, and we're all tied up at 2 apiece. 4 breaks of throw we've had here.
Right, Steve will be thinking, right, come on, been let off a little bit, I'm still in the game, now let's start to get going.
Yeah, well, he does have the advantage of throwing first.
Steve walks back, you can see the bronze Adonis on his back. I think it should be called the grey Adonis now. A few grey hairs have crept in the head of Stevie Beaton. And I have to say, a bit of a bandit on the golf course as well. Play golf with him, but don't play against him. Certainly for money. No, he's a very good golfer. Single figures. We had a big charity do a couple of weeks ago that we all played in.
Who's the best golfer in darts?
85.
It's hard to say, really. There's a lot of them. There's a few of them that are single figures. There's a few of them that are certainly bandidos off their handicaps.
There's a few fishermen in the world of darts.
Yeah, there is a lot.
Darren Webster's quite tidy, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he likes his fishing, Darren. We had a fishing competition last year that Darren won.
Oh, look at this from Steve Beaton. Oh, this is wonderful. Ooh. Well, he will be back.
Well, it's the sort of leg that Steve needed to kick-start his game. Just needs to take this double top out. Don't want to mess around with it because he'll be back on the back foot again. And Gilding's going to certainly set this up. So no messing for Steve. We say it so often, if you're going to miss, just pitch it on the top wire.
Well, once again we see he misses outside, misses inside. It's becoming a bit of a trend with Steve Beaton. He did it on the double 8 a couple of times. Now he's on the double 10. He's got to find one he can hit. Only 1 dart for Andrew Gilding, and it's going to be at double top. Can't make Beaton pay. Double 5's an awkward one, though. Oh, it doesn't look very awkward for Steve. 3-2, the first time that somebody's held their throw in this one.
It's ironic that he's missed all the what we call the good doubles on the dartboard and hits one of the worst in the double 5. And a lot of the times you just think, right, I'm going to overpitch this dart and sit it up above it, and it goes in. And the last thing you wanted to do is to split it. So you do tend to overpitch the 5s.
93.
Always that awkward second dart if you do miss outside, though, isn't it? You want to have a go at it, but if you split it, you don't get another shot. Well, this is a good response from Andrew Gilding. A great response from Goldfinger. His second maximum of the match to add to a 174 he hit.
96.
And you can see it. Being outscored in those first 3 visits to the board by Steve Beaton, but a lot of missed doubles has dragged his overall average down.
Yeah, well, what that says, Dan, is that Steve Beaton has actually been scoring really well, but he's just missing doubles, and that's what's brought his overall average down, and obviously kept his first 9-dart average up, which is where the scoring power is in those first 9. I like that stat because it does give you some idea of how well the player is using the, you know, the treble 20.
127.
You can't ask much more than that for Andrew Gilding. But he could be under a little bit of pressure for this double top.
100. Andrew, you require 40.
Perhaps not as much as Steve Beaton would have liked. He missed double top in the last leg. He's got 3 darts at it now, and he only needs the 1.
Andrew Gilding.
And we're back to 3 apiece.
Game on.
Starting to get down to the edgy part of the game. I just feel that someone needs to just get a bit of form together over 2 or 3 legs and push on.
60.
It's ironic that the first 4 legs went against throw, and yet the last 2 have been won quite strongly with the throw.
100.
That's decent enough. 3 under the magic 15 dart leg. A couple of 16s and an 18. So nothing's gone past 6 visits to the board.
66.
Averages in the 90s. It's not stunning, but it's solid.
Yeah, the leg 1 there, you know, Steve had 18 darts with the throw. You're not going to win too many legs if you're going to use that many darts.
But he is in a strong position in this one. He just knows if he holds his throw, if he can produce 3 15 dart legs on his own throw, he's going to make Gilding do something special to beat him. Good adjustment from Steve Beaton. Lovely stuff.
Another really strong leg on the throw from a player. 62 after 12. We do see a lot of 12 darters, but to be quite honest, if you're throwing first and you're firing 15 and under, you are not going to lose too many legs.
Just the 1 dart for Steve Beaton.
46.
Misses inside again. He'll be back for double 8. And I think it'll be a relief for Beaton if he can just take it out, because he's been really struggling down that bit of the board.
57.
Yes, he has been. He's been putting, like the first dart, a pretty good guide just on the outside, and the second dart's been going well inside. And that's not a bad dart again. Well, he's up to them 4s this time. And that was nearly in the 18s, wasn't it?
It really was, but he snuck it in. He's having a lot more success on double 4 than anything else.
Yeah, big release for Steve Beaton. And this is where he'll be walking back to the hockey going, right, come on. This is where I want to see a 12 dart leg out of myself. This is the game, really. Now, a big, strong leg.
46.
Not a great deal strong about that.
Just going back to that golf tournament we played, it was for the Help the Heroes. The Wiggly Group sponsored it. We had a great day up there. John McDonald, MC, he was the main organiser of the whole thing. And well, when John phones you up and said, can you do something? He doesn't say, can you do it? He says, you're doing it. So we all kind of go, yes, of course we will. But it was a great cause. Played with a paratrooper of 23 years.
The European Tour moves on to Gibraltar next weekend. I understand it's their Armed Forces Day over the weekend as well. I think we may have plenty of the forces in watching the darts at the National Sports Stadium on the Rock. And here comes Andrew Gilding. Just taking a moment.
139.
Well, in a strong position in this leg is Gilding as he looks to level things up again.
I was surprised that Andrew didn't go for a 25 there. You know, that would have left him the 80, guaranteed him a dart at double top instead of at the bullseye. Agreed, if he hits the treble 18, he'll have a 2 darts at double 16. Oh, and he's hit the treble 1. That really has caused him a problem.
Yeah, doesn't even get a shot. And
30.
well, Steve Beaton, this you feel could break the back of Andrew Gilding. Not going to happen. Can he at least put some pressure on that 56 for Gilding?
57.
Not a great deal of it.
56.
So Gilding for 4 apiece, and to take this down to a 1-2 game effectively. Double top he wants. Down for double 10. Oh, he's missed that by a long way. Long way. And Beaton should at least get a dart here.
That's awkward. Yes, had to go really high. Oh!
That could be the decisive moment of this match. Steve Beaton, 1 dart in hand, and you have to say, you weren't that confident with how he's been on some of the major doubles, 20, 10, 16, 8, he struggled.
I was just about to say exactly that. You know, gets 1 dart in his hand and kills it cleanly. Give him 3 darts and he's been missing them.
Well, there you go, look at that. 1 out of 3 on the 20s, hasn't hit the 10s, hasn't hit the 8s at 6 attempts. And he's hit 16 once.
Yeah, not a stat that Steve will write home about, but at the end of the day, if you go on and win, you know, you get over it. And as we've said, it is his first game on this stage, so he's going to be the one that's a little bit more edgy.
134.
Well, that 140 from Gilding, he needs it. He's got to win 3 legs in a row here, and 2 of them are on the Beaton throw. First things first, though, just try and get through this one. Wow, strong stuff, strong stuff. Beaton is back in there himself.
133.
Turning into a bit of a dogfight in this one. Both throwing some decent arrows. Gilding can find that treble again, and he can. Oh, fantastic. 3 140s in a row from Andrew Gilding on the Beaton throw. And Gilding, you would think, should get a dart to break. It'll be interesting to see which route he goes here.
But Steve, that's a bad last dart from Steve, missing the big number. Again, I thought the 25 may have been the route. But Andrew now for 11 dart leg against the throw, double 12. Brilliant darts from Gilding. Back up against the wall. And he comes out, both guns are blazing. That is a superb leg under pressure from Andrew Gilding. And we have seen this on the tour so many times from this guy. You know, he's not a mug on the dartboard.
Well, all of these guys can throw darts, but he's doing it at the right time, and he's produced the best leg of the match there, as you say, with his back against the wall. That bounce out hasn't helped, well, fall out hasn't helped him.
96.
And if he can hold his throw here, we're down to a deciding leg and anything could happen.
Yeah, you can see the 2 18 darters that were won by Steve Beaton.
60.
You know, if your opponent has won an 18 darter against the throw, you're not too happy with that. It obviously means you've missed doubles.
46.
Oh, Steve, that is not what you want to see. So Gilding in the driver's seat. It looks like we could be going all the way.
Yeah, one of these two will go through to the last 16 to join Vincent van der Voort and Mensur Suljovic, who've both won this afternoon. The winner of this one will face either Peter Wright or Michael Smith.
95.
And at the minute, it's a tough one to call. But this is just swinging the odds slightly towards Andrew Gilding.
Well, again, under pressure, Andrew Gilding has pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah.
Steve, got to find...
100.
Well, you would think...
You require 120.
I agree that Steve Beaton could go out on the 164, but Gilding could have 6 darts from 121. May only need and use the 3. The bullseye to take us to a decider.
83.
Well, that's left him on 38, which could be a little bit of a help to Steve Beaton, as long as he puts some pressure on. Now, a question for you, Dan. Does Gilding go straight for the double 19 or the 6 double 16?
Well, I'd be splitting it, but I don't think you want to be asking me. That's why I'd be splitting it.
22.
20/20 hindsight, though. That first dart goes in. Andrew Gilding goes in to a deciding leg. And Steve Beaton, he's not going to get a shot for the match there. But he's double 80 wants to take it all the way. And Andrew Gilding gets the job done.
Andrew Gilding, 11th and final leg. Steve drove first.
Tough day at the office for these two players. Well, he's Beaton that throws first. Oh, and what 3 darts these could be.
140.
Doesn't get much better under pressure than that.
Who's got the nerve? Who's got the bottle? Who can produce when it really matters? Gilding's been brilliant to claw his way back into this.
100.
But Beaton always knew he'd have the advantage of throwing first in this deciding leg if it came to it, and he is making the most of it right now. Just pulls one into the treble 5, but fantastic stuff. 140, 135. Very, very difficult to break a man's throw when he starts off like that.
Well, what Steve mustn't think now is think, right, okay, I've got control. Just don't let me miss the big numbers. He's got to keep attacking like he has done with him first 6 darts. You start to think that you can consolidate and you start missing the treble. And then your opponent comes in with a big score, and Steve leaving a bogey number. Although it didn't really matter because even Gilding needs a 180 to have left a shot.
93.
Well, it's good, but it may not be enough for Andrew Gilding. Steve Beaton looking to set this up. That's a nightmare first dart for him.
44.
You see it so often, Dan, you know, and been there myself. You kick off with 6 brilliant darts, and then in your head you go from, right, let's attack it, to going, right, I'll consolidate now, and you lose a little bit of power in the arm, your mindset is not right, and you're just opening the door every time for your opponent to come in with a big score and put him back in the game, which is exactly... Now, Steve cannot afford not to hit a treble in this. Well, he's done that, so he's going to get a dart at least at the bullseye. There is the bullseye, the red bit for the match.
99.
Wow.
So you require 148.
Holding a pose there. Is Gilding going to make him pay? It's a big ask, and it's an impossible task right now. Well, he needs to at least put pressure on, and that'll help. That'll help. But Steve Beaton, he's not been great on double 8, and he's stubborn, and he's missed outside again. Will he miss inside again? No, he won't. He hits it for the first time in the match. Steve Beaton gets over the line. It was nervy, it was edgy, but the bronze